Greetings. Thank you for tuning in to the Manifest Wellness Podcast. I am Leema Pasha, an executive wellness coach. I help women leaders stop stress and beat burnout. If you are trying to get your wellness in order, I am the coach to call when you need to go from drained to reclaimed. So happy today to bring you an episode where we're talking about wellness and building community. We are talking about how to heal from type 2 diabetes and other serious illnesses with plant based nutrition. Dr. Green is here and will introduce herself and tell us a little bit more about some ways to make changes.
Hi, thank you for having me, Leema. I am Dr. Janelle Green. I'm a podiatrist, foot and ankle specialist, and surgeon. I spend a lot of my time working with people that have uncontrolled type 2 diabetes. It's almost over 15 years now. And so I have understood that a whole foods plant-based diet is crucial and beneficial to them. And so that's why I've adopted that and become a certified nutrition coach so that I can help my clients, my patients, as well as everyone else who's struggling with type 2 diabetes work to reversal and, most importantly for me as a podiatrist, prevent limb loss. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. So especially during this holiday season, we wanted to be of support to people who are considering transitioning to a plant-based diet, helping support them to do it in a mindful and stress-free way. Dr. Green, can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah,
and the benefits as well.
Sure. I mean, first of all, I will say my heart goes out to people struggling with uncontrolled type 2 diabetes and other lifestyle diseases overall, but especially at this time of the year. Once we get into Halloween, our culture teaches us that candy, that's how we celebrate it. So I just finished getting 2 buckets of candy from underneath my children's bed. I mean, just max filled to the top. And so, we have Halloween, we have Thanksgiving, we have cakes and pies and sweetened vegetables, our carrots with sweets, our sweet potatoes with sweets, our ham with sugar glaze. I mean, it's everywhere. And so it is hard. It is really hard, especially if you've been brought up in the American culture, to resist those things when everybody around you is consuming those foods. And those have been really good times for you, possibly, and other family members to enjoy those foods with your family. And so it's definitely not an easy thing for people with type 2 diabetes and other, even heart disease and other illnesses during the holidays. So I will say that. But for those people that are looking to make better food choices, be kind to yourself. Know that every single day is an opportunity to make a better food choice, even if it's just for breakfast or just for lunch. But keep going, build your consistency, because consistency is key. And at some point, one day will turn into 5 days into a month into a year. And then before you know it, you're like Leema, you're 10 years in this game, right? So, yeah. But one of the reasons why it's also so important, and one of the benefits of adopting a whole foods plant-based diet, especially if you already have if you have type 2 diabetes or even an autoimmune disease or some sickness, to have a plant-based diet, is because the consumption of sugar lowers your immune system. So if you notice this time of year, everybody's getting a cold, everybody's sick. And with, our history of COVID, people are very cautious and concerned. And so you really want to do things to build your immune system, to allow yourselves to fight those germs. So, some people who have a weak immune system, if they've consumed all of these candies, cakes, and pies, Halloween candy, etc., they touch a doorknob, their body doesn't have the ability to fight back the bacteria that's on the door. And so as you move into the holiday and you're thinking of ways, okay, how can I stay motivated to have a whole foods plant-based diet? ridding your body of just the common cold and sickness. Let that motivate you, because the more fruits and vegetables that you consume, all those things have medicine in them. Those things are going to prevent you from getting sick. And when I say fruits and vegetables, I mean in their whole form. I don't mean processed. I don't mean smothered with agave and buttered and brown sugar or turbinado sugar and all those other sugars. I mean consumption of whole raw foods are going to boost your immune system along with all the other health benefits of it. So allow that to motivate you as you try to keep from getting sick. If you want your children to, not have as many sick days from school, or if if you own a business, for example, and you want your employees to be able to work and be productive during the holidays, encourage a whole foods plant-based diet, because it will keep people from getting sick. And that was one of the things that motivated me, because I was like, oh, I don't have to catch a cold. I thought that was normal, but I don't catch colds. And I know that sounds, it just doesn't happen. I will say there are some times where I might sneeze, or I might, my nose I might have a drip, but then I'm like, okay, what did I eat? What was in that? And I can trace it back. And then I know, hydrate myself, drinking lemon water, increase my consumption of raw fruits and vegetables. And I don't, Kleenex is not really a thing for me unless I'm, using the makeup. And so using it for makeup. And so I just want to encourage people. There's the benefit of having a whole foods plant-based diet. Or one of them is just being able to not get sick. And you want to be able to enjoy your family members. People are going to be overly cautious of someone that might sneeze or cough around them just because of our history. You don't want to be that person. So try to do what you can, drink your water, eat your fruits and vegetables. And it's a trip how cautious we are. Like someone might sneeze in our direction or cough, and I look at people around and everybody, they scatter because people are afraid. And it may not be COVID. It's probably, pretty benign, I'll say. But people are afraid.
Yes, yes, yes. The common cold, other things, and also inflammation too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Having a plant-based diet helps people reduce their inflammation, right? I was talking
Absolutely.
to a lady, and she was telling me about her arthritis, and because she knows I'm very interested in wellness and coaching people, and she's like, do you have any suggestions? Well, the first thing I suggested to her was to reduce her sugar. And and somebody kind of laughed and was like, that's not going to happen. But you're in pain though. I was like, please consider reducing the sugar as the first step to reducing inflammation. And I know her sugar is a big inflammatory food. So I'm so inspired too by what you were talking about, fiber. Fiber fills you up. So
Mm-hmm.
once you get full, your body may be less likely to overeat and binge eat on sweets and desserts. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. It fills you up. You're more likely to get full. And then the science behind that is that fiber triggers your satiety hormone. So you have hormones in your body. One of them makes you feel hungry or, think you're hungry. One of them makes you feel like you're full. Well, when you consume fiber, the one that lets you know that you're full is working the way it should be. So that's another reason. So you are full and you feel full, so you don't overeat. And that's really important as well. So to prevent obesity and all of, the complications that come along with being obese, increased risk of cancer, heart disease, all these lifestyle diseases. So yeah, fiber is very important.
What is your suggestion about a low hanging fruit? We talk about when people are trying to make changes during this holiday season. Is there a low hanging fruit? We want them to definitely adopt a plant-based diet, but where can they start so they're not too overwhelmed?
Water. Water. You should be consuming half of your healthy body weight in ounces of water. And if you are consuming any coffees or teas, or even, walking and exercising and sweating a little bit, then you want to increase that water intake as well, because you're dehydrating your body. And so it's not a food thing, but water, I would say start there, because sitting down and being really intentional about drinking your water forces people to be conscious of their health. So you have to plan. It kind of gets you into the space of planning for your meals, because you have to plan to be able to go to the bathroom if you're going to drink that water. And then I've noticed you start to think about, well, I'm doing this for my health. And you get in the habit of thinking about doing things for your health and eating foods for your health. So I would say water is a low hanging fruit. Get that water in first thing in the morning, drinking your water. And then if I had to add another one, low hanging fruit, I would say, because it's greens, if you can start with, maybe sauteing them. And I recommend sauteing them with water. We can talk about that later. You can, instead of oils, especially if you're somebody that has diabetes, but you can saute with water or broth or something. But sauteing your vegetables or put them in your smoothie. So just your base spinach. And don't worry so much about removing. I say this so many times, people are concerned about what they don't eat. A lot of times people say, well, I don't eat meat and I don't eat cheese and I don't eat this. But what are you eating, right? You have to eat the medicine. And so just because you remove certain things from your diet doesn't mean that you have the optimal diet for health or for the reversal of your disease. So I would say water. Another low hanging fruit is get your plant. Eat that. So if it's going to be spinach or collard greens or whatever green leafy thing, dandelions, bok choy, something. So start with those.
That's great to hear. So it's not just about removing things from your diet, it's making sure that you have the healthy, nutritious food that's going to act as medicine to fuel your health.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Green, let people know how they can reach you. We're going to do this again. We're going to talk about sugar and processed foods, help you get through the rest of this holiday season. But we are going to wrap up now, and Janelle will tell you how you can reach her.
Yes, you can go to my website, www.drjanellegreeen.com, or you can send me an email, dr.janellegreen@gmail.com.
Thank you so much. Live a life of purpose with gratitude, visualization, and community. See you next time.